Oof. Every time.
Yeah, that music hits you.
So Reggie,
Yes.
have you had a chance to digest? Have you had a chance to process and think about the things that we have been illuminating and considering?
Yeah, mostly caught up with our bubble theory. With when we realized that time traveling might not be entirely time travel.
It's not airtight, but it's pretty fucking ziplocked, ain't it? It's pretty ziplocked.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm not going to call it airtight just yet, but the lines are turning from blue into purple.
Mostly along the whole line, right?
Mostly along the whole line.
Almost airtight. I would have to shift the bag a bit to see.
It's feeling fresh.
Okay.
Certified.
Tight.
We haven't really sat and done an all events analysis in a minute, so let's just do this. The beginning of the time. Remember when we were screaming about this as the beginning of the timeline?
Yep. And we were like, why is this number one?
Of course it's number one.
Uh-huh.
Not only is it number one, it's not 2188. It's 2187. It's super early in the timeline. But they also give it to you early in the story, right? We caught one of these like 2 fucking scenes in to one of these characters. It was Mura stuff. All of Mura stuff was fucking us up. So that makes perfect sense.
Prizes.
So we've got a whole situation here in which we theoretically see the start of this project. Right? Theoretically, we see the start of this project carry all the way till its execution exists, and we're seeing people actually inside a UFO, right? One of the UFOs, so to speak. Again, operating theory. At some point, we're looking at 426 alive and in big human body. The first form of Juro, and adult Iorimura. Although here you're looking at her younger, and here you're looking at her older. But whatever the case, no, wait, 2104. Never mind. That's all. That's a lie. That's not true. Never mind. Ignore me. But yeah, we got 426 there, and then we move right into this. My name is Tetsuya Ida. That is probably really key for figuring out the difference between Ida and Shu, right?
And we've seen both of them in the same scene.
Yeah, and we know that young Ida is well, no. Anyway, there is clearly the adult that we know of in the future who's making Robotomi. There's a young version of him that calls himself Ida, and then there's Shu, right? We don't know if the young version of Ida is the same as the older version of Ida, but like it's what we'll just have to see, you know. But I mean, it's reasonable to assume. I don't think the timeline goes in such a way where he ends up older Ida ends up being way down the line from younger Ida over here, 2025, and here it's 2100.
Yeah, the research that he makes Tomi with the new body.
So here's the other thing to consider, right? For a quick hot second. If time travel is what we said it was, then that means that the actual physical aging of people is very significant. Right? Like, remember, when we're talking about someone jumping from one place to another, and those places are, like, resembling these eras, but they're not actually necessarily those eras, every time we were in between going like, oh yeah, well, between this one and that one, the person aged by 40 years, so they should look older. But that doesn't work if we're talking about locations, does it? Right?
True.
Every time we were like, oh yeah, so Chihiro grows up, It's like, no, she doesn't. That's not the way this works. We're talking about the present.
Yeah.
We're talking about physical locations. So every one of those needs to be reconsidered, right? So, again, just keep that in mind as we go forward. I would say, I think.
That's a fair.
Yeah. Might be super wrong on that, but I'm gonna put that out there as a possibility. And like seeing him as an adult here, and then seeing him young, in one of the first scenes where we see him, is there's a significance to like what the passage of time means in a situation where like the time travel is not what we thought it was. Yeah. He does all that shit. 426 don't like it. Uses the body. Jumps in. Kiriko Doji's doing her thing. 2025 world gets fucked up. 2025 world. In fact, the scene where everybody gets split up, right? Where we're looking at the rooftop battle.
Okay.
Is 2064 world, or is it? This is 2064 scene. This is 2064 world is the first, or not? I don't know if this. I don't know if it's the. No, I'm not going to say it's the first, but 2064 world is the world we see fucked up on camera, right?
Yes.
2025 world is getting fucked up here. No, that's 64. Never mind. Do we see any other?
The 20. This is a dream from 85.
85 looks fucked up in this vision. Yeah, but like, how could that?
Another dream before from 2025 as well, but it was a dream.
Right, and here's 2065 looking fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you know what? Look at this. This is 3 dreams or memories. A memory of a dream, a memory of a dream, a memory of a recurring nightmare. Mm-hmm. But these are 3 visions of destroyed 25, 65, and 85 world, which is 3 different worlds getting fucked up. So, as to like the order that they got fucked up in, we don't know yet. Right? But it seemed to me like the first one to get fucked was 64, because it felt like this scene was the beginning of splitting everybody up. Right? It felt like the way this scene ended, they gathered all the pilots and then said fuck, get them out of there.
Yeah.
And they emergency sent exactly. And they all landed in different locations
and not time zones.
Possibly. So then you now have to go, all right, they landed where they landed and are trying to figure out how to, do whatever. But that makes me think this might be one of the earliest actual destroyed time zones, so to speak, because I don't trust the word a memory. Like this I feel like this shit makes it hard to put this timeline together, because these are technically not where they should be.
They're just memories and dreams. So it's like
memories and dreams. What does that mean? We know that they're not dreams anymore. We know they're real. So now that we're not operating with them as like fictional memories, what more can we piece together about them? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm putting together with that stuff. Yakisoba brain torture. Fluffy probably hailed from 2064.
Do we have an idea about...
Fluffy hailed from a destroyed world.
Yeah.
We know 24664 is a destroyed world.
Okay.
That's all we know. It's possible, if not probable, that he came from there.
Okay. I don't have enough information.
But he might have come from a different one entirely that we've never been introduced to. Right?
Yeah.
Totally possible. But right now, there is Destroyed World 2064, and Fluffy talked about how he's from a destroyed world.
True.
So, put that in your pipe. Don't light it up yet. Don't smoke it. Just put it in the pipe.
Okay.
Yakisoba Angel. Shout outs to the Photoshop of Megumi Yakishiji in her full-on Keanu Reeves reloading with the glasses.
The eyes,
going to town.
So crazy.
Except this time around, it's not for the dog, but it's because the cat told you to do it. And then Iori bumps into her big old crush. We get our Goto scene in the science room. And he is suspicious of who the fuck is currently possessing her body. Now, if we know what we know, it seems pretty likely that Juro 426 is possessing bodies. He seems to be capable of doing that. We saw him do it twice.
Yep.
From
in the bathroom and inside the lab.
Yep, from lab to Tomi, from Tomi to fucking Tamao?
Kurabe, yes.
So then
or Erika.
You gotta actually keep track of where 426 is jumping. You don't quite know when and where he's gonna end up. But right now, the last place we saw the jump occur in was Tamao. Which, yeah, anyway.
So if Goto is suspicious of Morimura, this is also maybe a bot?
Well...
if Goto is suspicious, does that mean that Morimura might have had an altered, like...
Here's the thing about that. Based on the way we were talking about this before last time, it doesn't matter if she's a robot or not. What matters is whose brain is inside of her.
Yeah.
Being a person or being a robot is irrelevant because we're walking hard drives. What matters is who's in there.
Yeah.
And in this context, like someone being a robot but having the memories of a good person, for example, BJ, is totally fine. Someone being a human but being overrun by an evil person is a problem. So if Morimura organically there is being controlled by 426's nanomachines, then that's a fucking problem. So we just got to keep track of the jumps that are occurring there. We don't know if anyone, we don't know who gets it after Kurabe, you know. But either way, so there's those jumps. Then we got the mainframe. At some point, adult Morimura is also shooting young fucking baby
Nenji Ogata, yeah.
And that Ogata, remember, is actually a child.
Right.
Meaning that did take place in his past. Real past. Do you understand?
Okay.
There's a child there that has not yet grown up. You cannot put that on a horizontal timeline and fit it in anywhere else where he's already grown up. It has to have taken place beforehand, right?
Glad that did definitely happen. A kid got shot.
All
right.
We're in the Destroyed 2025. We're doing a lot of wandering around, and then eventually they make their way down to the mainframe, at which point they access the computer and they shift. But when they shift, Miwako does not make it out.
Oh no.
We don't know where she ended up.
Assuming that Universal Control said that she was a threat or
Universal
not
Control
compliant.
Might have straight up went, fuck this.
Yeah.
Because, excuse me, we don't have control over everyone else's nanomachines, but we do have control over hers. Right? So it just teleported her wherever the fuck it teleported her. Probably back into her pod. Right? If everybody is traveling in the UFO, if everyone on a UFO has a pod, and the UFO lands, and then a place gets terraformed, and then the UFO buries, and then there's a city underneath it, then the Universal Control can theoretically pull anybody that's living in that city back into their pod, as we saw with Tamao.
Okay.
In theory, right? Okay, so there's that. We saw the SIU stuff. We know that they are... Again, it doesn't really matter what they're hiding, because the reality of the situation being a fucking dome city is bigger than them, so whatever. Motorcycle, Shikishima building. It's weird that there's Shikishima buildings in the cities that are parts of the UFO dome. Like, within, you know what I mean? Like, we were thinking about the Shikishima buildings as, oh, that's the place that'll go on to become the creators of all these problems. But what you should be thinking about it as is, there is a building belonging to this company in a UFO city that it's already made. There is a Shikishima building modeled after an old past version of the Shikishima Corporation, but it was put there in the Dome City by the UFO that's currently buried because this is not really the past.
What's the percentage of chances that the UFOs are linked to Shikishima?
100%. They pretty much confirmed it.
Yeah. So
okay. Reminder for anybody that's getting a little bit antsy and or tired at this moment that playing this the way I would on my own means right now I would be doing this to go forward in the story. So in order to enjoy this properly myself, this is slowing it down to review, and I do just want to remind anybody that this is how I want to do it. So we are looking at the possibility of, a Shikishima Industries building in the past of each one of these different cities, right? These different UFO places, so whatever. Miyuki Inaba exists and is, if we're not mistaken, didn't we confirm that, like, Okino built her? Right? Or am I pulling that out of my ass?
Maybe. I thought she was like a form of Usami. Maybe.
No, I didn't get that. Let's go back to revisit it, because we haven't looked at her in a second. I feel like I remember them...
Oh, you passed Miyuki Inaba.
There we go. Sorry.
Okay, so...
Okay. I recall there being clues that she was built by Okino. Somewhere along the lines a while ago, that was a hint. But it's not recorded there yet. Okay. We've got all of these little bumps throughout the school. We've got her hiding BJ. She meets BJ. BJ is obviously Mura trying to help her out. Mura coming from whatever the situation was that, like, we saw Sekigahara talking to him in the machine before he landed in this, he jumped over here, but whatever. War of the Worlds, they witnessed the whole thing. BJ obviously knows a lot more than he's letting on because Mura has seen a bunch of shit. And I want to say so here's another thing to think about. Here's what I was thinking about while we were in the downtime.
Okay.
The Shrine Gate is locked into the same relative location in each of these cities.
Yes.
That replicates the same layout. But when it comes to the gate in the lab, it doesn't bring anybody from the lab to another school lab. It brings them from the lab to the streets outside in destroyed 2025. Yeah. So, like, it might just be as simple as, like, those two areas are not mirrored between one world and the other, whereas the Shrine Gate is mirrored between one world and the other. Make sense?
So only the shrine is the same, but every other one might be relocated to another exit.
So far, it's the only thing we've seen.
Okay.
Right? What we're doing is taking the operating theory we have about the times and applying it to this timeline as we go down. We're spreading it on like peanut butter. And so we've seen that gate do that, but we've seen the chem lab gate drop you in the middle of the street. So it's just like, those are not aligned. Baby Chihiro jumps from the world of 45. 45 was not totally destroyed, but it was attacked, right? We saw where Mura live get attacked, but not the entirety of 45 was destroyed. So that's the thing about 45 that's interesting, is that it is in the process of being dug up by the Shikishima bots, the kaiju, but not actually entirely wiped out.
Okay.
And whatever is happening in 45, it does. I don't know if anyone in 45 has access to the UFO in that world. We have
this air raid is really American military, right?
No, it ends up being walkers. They walk back in and they see the high quads stomping around, and he goes, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Unless we saw planes in the distance at one point, and then anyway, but he comes back to a high quad battle.
Yeah. Okay.
So, either way. So that happens. That's all there. 85. Excuse me. Right. This is all at the park. Destroyed apartment. He wakes up baby Chihiro. She finds out about Yuki being undercover. Uninvited housewife, indeed. Usami's got a gun. Usami's got a gun. Yep, fake bot. We got the big 426 jumps into Tamao in this scene.
Yeah.
At some point, young Kurabe, or Izumi, dies in the, or not dies, but gets fucked up by the brain overload situation. Like, what we don't know, we know that there's Izumi who fought too long.
Yeah.
Got warped from 2064 to 2025. Right? Stayed behind and got brain overloaded, and then warps out and meets Tomi and Megumi
Yashushi.
at the same time, right? And then they bring him, and then they all end up going from there because their world gets wrecked. And then we see him fight in 2025 again, right? He's fighting in 64. He stays. They have the big
shift.
They have the shift. Get everyone out of here. He gets shifted to 2025. He fights in 2025, which is already under attack. Or like he pops out. He meets the two girls. Then later on, another fight's happening. We see Tomi running through her building or whatever, and then in 25, Jiro continues to fight.
Yeah.
So he gets super brain overloaded.
Yeah.
Ends up in 85.
And then they're like, we have to implement a new personality because he's a shell.
So they completely wipe him and turn him into Kurabe at that point. Could be nanomachine based. Who knows? The pills are the pills are the pills, right? We'll find out more. But that's the young Jiro. And 426 is still operating as 426 outside of that event occurring. Right? Okay. So the gates, Miami Park, mistaken identity. Right, BJ reveals that this is not Earth. Minami herself might be an alien. Right. Well, that terminology referring to the fact that you're born on another planet, even though you're a human being, is still accurate.
True.
All right.
Kid from the future.
Yes, me from the future. And then, let's see here, fruitless efforts. The glasses, Sentinel brought in. The pills, all fucked up. Pilot's mark. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so far nothing else needs to be brought up into question. Just the fact that almost the entire cast has been shot.
Yep.
With those nanomachines at this point. And yeah, when you float out on your Sentinel out of the dome, you hit space.
Yep.
So that's what it is.
Oh boy.
So We got a couple places we can go.
Story goes on.
We locked everybody up, and it feels a little. It feels nice. Feels a little. Feels almost like you might have control over the situation with the whole thing locked up. But we know that's not true. So, shall we start pushing the lowest numbers minus Goto, or shall we go to someone of interest?
Can you keep scrolling to the right? Yeah. Is Yuki... Oh, Yori is at 42.
You know what? Let's do Ogata.
Okay. You're interested in knowing what happens?
Let's see where this goes.
Okay.
So he's strapped to a chair in the hideout.
I guess when you put it like that...
Now that the recap episode is over. You gotta have a recap episode.
I should slow down and think a little. What's wrong?
Platform 3.
More lines. Okay.
Gotta be kidding me. So all of this? It's all some big dream in my head? This Kisaragi, and that Fuyusaka, and Wajima. None of them are real? So the world's gonna end. And it's all because of these 15 people? Because they're sending out this command to the kaiju? If he's right. That was weird. So this key's a program that's calling the kaiju out. Except, I'm just gonna see it as a normal-ass key, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, here we go.
You're not the real Kisaragi. You're just some ghost of her in my brain.
What are you talking about? Is your head okay? Did you eat something bad?
Don't even talk to me.
Cold,
Come on.
but reasonable.
Yeah, I guess. Nothing matters.
You know what? They're facing me this way. Let's go back this way. This isn't real either, so...
Well, look
what happens
we
now?
got here. Ogata, most...
Yeah, that's the key to all of this, huh?
Same dumbass look. This asshole looks as real as he ever did.
The hell are you muttering about? Hey! I think it's about time we what's your problem? Or maybe you just never had the balls to fight, coward.
What if we get beat up instead?
Oh, yeah. Alright, there's 2 fresh interactions to have, but let's see where this
Oh, it's
goes.
too late to apologize now.
Hey! Stop it, you guys!
Who the hell are you? Stay out of this!
Oh!
Well then.
Good guess.
He's had enough, okay?
Ain't that the saddest shit? Gotta have your girl rescue you. Move it. Listen up. No more warnings. If you ever talk shit on Kurihai again, you know what's gonna happen. Let's go.
Dissing Nigakure.
I remember now. This place. It's what I remember from that day.
Are you okay?
She was here too. We had a big fight. Ended up splitting off.
Sorry, I gotta pause to confirm something. What is his origin world? Obviously, there's future, president, but... Did we ever get a... He hails from whatever year? No, we didn't. Okay. We don't know where he started,
Nope.
because wherever he started is where Morimura was when she shot him. Which
Yeah.
would give us some more context clues. Is that way blocked? Yeah. Okay, so that's done. Alright. Interesting. No one else of importance is here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean docks.
Look, fighting wasn't gonna prove anything. Those guys aren't worth your time, okay?
Damn it. Already 5:20. Third train is already gone. They're gonna show up any second now. Wasted too much damn time.
Oh, whoa.
Messed that up.
Report. Not this time, from the looks of things.
So put me back. That's how this goes, right?
You realize your life is at stake here. I suggest you take this seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, we didn't actually...
FYI,
Yeah.
Nenji Ogata, according to the memories, he was shot in 1976 at age 6.
He was shot at age 6 in 1976?
That's what I got in my notes. When the Morimura
I
runs
should
after
slow
him.
down and think a little. What's wrong?
Huh. And it says 76.
Yep.
Well, what the fuck does that mean? Then- yeah. Okay. So that was a dead end. So we didn't get what we wanted, but we did get this. We got the word dissing Nigakuri out of it, so we didn't lose progress.
Okay.
So if it's showing us 76, then yeah. If that's okay. Oh boy. All right.
And then Morimura says, 8 years from now, Ogata, you're gonna call on the monsters. And then Ogata runs. He's like,
Okay.
no.
So then he could be native to 85 world, right? Seems like that's reasonable because he's
Yeah.
young in that point, at that time frame, right?
Okay.
So, but then that just operates with the idea that like those numbers are all sliding scale for, they're all just 40 years apart, and then they all move 40 years apart, right? So 8 years before so 1985 world is maybe not 1985 world as much as it is what it was in 76. Every other world was 8 years prior at the same time. You know what I mean? They're on staggered timelines as opposed to stuck in 1 year. Because we know that they don't operate in just 1 year because we've seen the difference between 84 and 85 in some circumstances. So there has to be actual time occurring while it's multiple places.
Okay.
Anyway. There might even be a smaller amount of places than we think. But whatever. Let's get to that later. Okay. So let's play this out.
Kidding me. So all of the
All in my head. Then we go this way. Then let's...
You heard wrong. You think I'd sneak around talking shit behind your backs? If I got something to say, I say it to your face. Or just punch you. What the hell? If I'm lying here, then I'll let you take a free swing at me. All I want to know is who you heard that rumor from.
Well, that'd be... Hey, who the hell was it?
That's gotta be Teru.
No, man, you were the one who said it.
Wasn't me, man.
Wow.
They have voices.
Let me know when you figure it out.
Not bad.
Could you not ignore me?
So they're deactivated. Tommy is sad. The fight.
Somebody in some
Yep, there's Iori. The one that was flopping, that was changing forms, shapeshifting.
I guess that means she came from my head too?
Huh?
I don't really know Fuyusaka that well. So maybe that's it? I just got her mixed up with the school nurse?
Ogata-kun.
Hey, Fuyusaka. Where'd Okino go?
Okino? Who's that?
Whoa.
Fancy meeting you
I
here.
get it.
Usami-chan.
He said he was gonna fix it.
Iori, your
Guess
place
this is
isn't
what
this
he
way,
meant.
right? Where are
Ah.
you going? I've just got a thing over in...
Okino edited himself out. And then there's Jiro, who we know is sus.
What's up? What are you
Emergency
doing here?
fucking meeting, bro.
Hey, it's you.
If I remember right, you don't take the train to school, do ya?
Guess I don't, but who cares? I can still take the train if I want. It's not a crime.
Weird answer.
Very.
So, you got a key on you?
What kind of key?
The key to summon the kaiju.
Summoning kaiju, huh?
What? That weird?
I don't really have time to indulge those childish fantasies.
Yeah, that sounds like Jiro for sure, right?
Now that's weird. Last
Listen
I
to the
heard, you were way
cockiness.
into that
Yep.
shit.
Well, what a shame. Looks like my train's here. Which means this conversation is over.
That's a bad guy.
Hey, that's the wrong train.
Uh-oh.
Main character is a fuck. Alright.
So you followed me.
Why'd you run? Huh?
You're on the wrong train, Nenji Ogata.
Doesn't matter which one I take. Same damn thing happens anyway. I always get taken out by the kaiju.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
You're not Karabe.
Well, that's just embarrassing. I really need to hide my tracks better.
Oh!
I've been getting sloppy. Never figured you'd come looking to take it back.
Who the hell are you? He disappeared.
Hey, get back here. What the fuck?
And that's what it looks like.
That's Minami behind you. And look what she's got. I don't know how I know, but that's the key. Gotta be.
Do you know anything about what kind of code this is? Do you even know what you've been looking for?
He's looking for what's been implanted into his own nanomachines. And memories, right? Like we're scanning through his head for whatever he was shot with.
I know the key's a program that controls the kaiju. And now I know Natsuno Minami's got it.
If you know that, then why are you on their side? You think you know what they're gonna do with it? They can't save anyone. Don't trust them. You know what they'll do to her. Do you have any idea what Natsuno Minami will go through?
What, like I'm supposed to trust you instead? I don't even know who you are.
I'm Juro Izumi. A version of Juro Kurabe from another world.
What the hell?
I've come to save you. That's why I'm here. To protect her control key. Fine. Trust me or don't. I don't care. Just forget about finding the key.
I can't do that. That key's gonna destroy the world, right?
If you let me handle this, you won't regret it. But if they found out that Natsuno Minami has the key, you think they'd be nice about getting it out of her?
Got a point. These sickos already kidnapped me and messed with my brain. Minami might end up the same way.
They might break her. Leave her like Ryoko Shinonome. Or they might just kill her. She's a pawn in their game. Just another sacrifice. Think this through.
You know what the best kind of villain is?
What's the best kind of villain?
The best kind of villain is one who's the protagonist of their own story.
Report.
What you gotta say?
Did you find it?
No.
I analyzed the station you're seeing. Basically, it's a visual representation of a kind of database. It kind of got tangled with your memories, so not everyone there will be relevant. But at least one of them has accessed the decode. You just need to find out who.
Say I find this person with the key, right? What are you gonna do to him?
Do you even need to ask? I'm going to cut off the D-Force's appearance. Once I control the commander, I control the kaiju. If that's impossible, I'll just destroy the control key. Don't worry. You'll be free to go.
Alright.
I didn't say this before, but this is an inherently risky process. The more loops we do, the more stress your brain gets put under. If you don't find it soon, I can't promise you'll survive.
It's interesting how when they're diving, the portrait we see is him inside his Sentinel.
Yeah.
Like, that's what threw me off when we first dived out here, right? Was like, why is he in his Sentinel all of a sudden? But we know it's a mental, like, representation.
Am I clear? You need to investigate the people on that platform closely. Let's run it again.
What the hell am I supposed to do?
Good. I like that. I like that. I like that grown-ass Juro is like, hey, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And we've seen him that way in some of the other scenes, too.
Yep.
We've also seen him sounding pretty fucking callous, but the truth is we don't know the motives, you know? Here's what we do know. Because he did just refer to Nenji Ogata as like, oh, you again, right? So, like, he's already definitely familiar with dealing with him. And he said he's a version of Juro Kurabe from another world. So, therein is another context clue that, like, different worlds, different copies of people.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't appear to be everyone. But because we're people who are jumping through timelines, you know what I mean, have not everyone ended up meeting themselves in any kind of way, or you know what I mean? Like everyone who jumped back to 45, we haven't seen a ton of like duplicate issues, let's say. But we have seen a few small instances of duplicates. I'm going to say that Shu and Ida represent duplicates of each other.
Yeah, even though we did see them in the same scene at some point.
Yes. We know that Chihiro made baby Chihiro. But, like, so Kurabe is, Juro is a duplicate, right? I don't know what other duplicates we can confirm that were not created within the story. Because, like, duplicate Tomi was created within the story. You know, duplicate, they all seemed to appear to be. Although Tamao is not.
Erika.
She is a robot, as we've been told. So, yeah. Those are the only two situations of, like, parallel people that I can think of.
Okay.
Updated 3.
Got 3 of them.
Ogata was the original holder of the decode. Minami is the one who currently has it. So you got to keep track of who has the key and who's 426. Right? There's like 2 fucking hot potatoes going on in the story right now.
Yeah, the key. Fortus jumping everywhere.